Currently, we're walking down Highland Boulevard in San Bernardino, California. We're going to be walking up to the Marquise Lounge. It's a sports bar right up the street from where I'm at right now. On April 23rd, 2022, during a concert, 4 people were shot. One of them was killed, pronounced dead at the scene. Authorities in Las Vegas believe that this unsolved murder was the catalyst of a revenge plot to kill some Vagos motorcycle club members that were riding down the freeway that happened 2 months after, 225 miles away in Las Vegas, Nevada. Without further ado, quickly, we'll get right into the story. There was some kind of a car show taking place on the weekend of April 22nd of 2022, and like many businesses in this area, they're going to hold special events to draw in the customers that are coming into this area to check out the cars at whatever show that they're showing them off at. So the Marquise Sports Lounge, you can see it right there. We're going to be walking right up to it. So on the evening, Saturday, April 22nd, 2022, there's a band, heavy metal or death metal, one of those genres. So there's a band playing at this bar right here. And all of a sudden, people start arguing with each other. Things are thrown, maybe punches are thrown as well. And somebody pulls out a gun and starts shooting the place up. 4 people were shot. One of them was 32-year-old James Dixon. By the time the San Bernardino police came to the scene, he was already pronounced dead at this very bar right here. Now, maybe about 2 months later, a freeway shooting would take place about 225 miles away, about a 3-hour ride through the desert of California going into Nevada, where some Vagos motorcycle club members would be shot at as they were riding down the freeway. And authorities in Las Vegas suspect that because of this unsolved murder, that was a revenge shooting for what occurred here 2 months previous. 234 miles away, the Hells Angels would get their revenge for the murder that took place back in San Bernardino. So May 29th, 2022, it's just a little bit before noon, and there's some Vagos members, and they're riding on the US 95 going towards Las Vegas. It's right over that tree line right there. So they're riding, I believe there's about a half dozen of them. I don't know if they're full-fledged members or there's a couple members and a couple prospects, but they're cruising down this very freeway right there. As you can see on the screen, you're gonna pass a overpass, and that would be Wagon Wheel, which is this street right here. So they're riding, and all of a sudden, some Hells Angels come up from behind them, pull out a gun, and just start shooting. And that's when you see somebody pulled out their phone and just started recording. As you can see, some of the bikes start like kind of weaving away from the shooting. I believe 6 people ended up getting either shot or injured. One of them actually was with the Hells Angels, so maybe it was accidental shooting on their part. So one of the Hells Angels members suffered a gunshot wound, I believe, to the lower extremities. Now, here's something odd about the Hells Angels and the Vagos here in Las Vegas. Now, I used to live here, and according to a detective with the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, he claims that there's only 4 full-fledged members here in Las Vegas. Now, of course, their chapter, their clubhouse is over on East Bonanza Road, which is about 20 miles or so away from here. And now you have, from what he claims to be 4 members, and then the rest are prospects. And now, you know, I'm not really sure how long it takes to prospect. It could be a couple of years from what I've talked to from different bikers throughout my life. Now the Vagos, you know, because I used to drive a taxi out here, so I would say that to me, if I had to judge based on just pure numbers, the Vagos are the biggest motorcycle club in Las Vegas. I see them the most. Of all the time, of all the years that I've been in Las Vegas, I very rarely, if ever, would see a Hells Angels member. As a matter of fact, you know, and leave a comment if you're watching, but the only guy that was a Hells Angels that had a full-fledged patch that I would ever see was this guy. He had like glasses, he had a black mustache, and he had a jean jacket with the Hells Angels and the Death Head logo emblazed on the back. And I'm not a big motorcycle guy, but I believe from what I could tell, his bike, it looked like a Sportster, like an older Sportster. And the fairing on it was really small. I'm trying to put up a picture of what it might kind of have looked like. It looked like an older Sportster from maybe the 90s. And I want to say the fairing that was on it was orange. Don't quote me on that, but I would see that guy around town. Not a lot, but I would see him around town. When I used to live in Las Vegas, I used to live on the west side of town, and probably 3 blocks away from where I used to live was this guy, and he was a member of the Vagos. And sometimes I'd ride my bicycle on my days off just to get exercise, and he would leave his garage door open and he'd be flying that big old green Vagos motorcycle club flag. Sometimes he'd have his friends over. Looked like pretty tough guys. I wouldn't want any problems with them. So like I said earlier, you would see Vagos more often than any other 1% Outlaw club member in all of Las Vegas. I might have seen Mongols maybe twice ever. Wonder whatever happened to that guy. Only Hells Angels guy I'd ever see in all of Las Vegas. Hopefully he's doing well. That was probably about 10 years ago. So Hells Angels footprint in Vegas, very, very small. And let me tell you something. It ain't small because nobody wants to join. No, it's small because they're very, very, very particular on who they let in. Oh, I'm sure they got a lot of prospects that want to get in, but it's got to take some time for you to, you know, for them to gain your trust and all this and that. So what ended up happening was, so the club member, the president of the club here in Las Vegas, 66-year-old Richard DeVries, he ended up getting arrested along with prospects Stephen Alo, 46 years of age, and I think the other guy, he was 26. His name is Russell Smith. I think that's what his name is. Both Stephen and Russell were prospects. And as far as I know, they're out of jail right now because I've seen some photos of them online and they were in their street clothes. So they were charged with like 36 felonies, amongst them attempted murder, shooting into an occupied vehicle, assault with a deadly weapon, I believe. Just various different felonies. So anyways, well, guys, listen, I am out of here. I've done quite a bit of driving today, and I got to hit the road. Will the wars between rival motorcycle clubs ever end? Or is it just like one continuous, bloodbath of death? Red asphalt all over the freeways. I don't know. But as we go forward, I will be investigating some of these stories. I will be taking you to the locations, sometimes the graves. And, no disrespect in any of these videos that I make. I find this subject absolutely fascinating, as do many people in this world. They find the endearing image of the motorcycle club member just so interesting. When I was a little kid, I grew up in Los Angeles, grew up in Hollywood, and one of my mother's friends was a Hells Angel. And boy, let me tell you, that guy looked like one. Like, think of a Hells Angels from the 70s, and that was him. Beard, greasy jeans. Basically, the guy that I described earlier is him. So I always wonder whatever happened to that guy. He was a young guy too. He wasn't, I don't think he was older than 35, but just living that life, you know what I mean? It's just it's like that Hollywood image, I don't know. But, you know, oftentimes it could be a very, very deadly game. And I'm going to take you to some of these locations. Lamont at Large, please subscribe to this channel if you like what you see. Only if you like what you see. If you don't like what you see, don't. Give it some time. Give it some time. I'll show you something. Catch up with you on the next vlog. Peace out.